We are going to expand Social Security benefits.
Social Security increased $2,400 for all seniors payments. Start Monday. The announcement came early this week and sent waves of relief across millions of American households. Starting Monday, every eligible senior receiving Social Security benefits will see their monthly payments increased to $2,400. This historic boost, years in the making, comes at a time when inflation, rising healthcare costs, and increasing daily expenses have pushed many retirees to the edge of financial strain. The adjustment is not just a routine cost of living change, it is the most significant single increase in Social Security history. For decades, seniors have fought for an update that truly matches the cost of living. And for decades, many of these pleas have gone unanswered. But this time is different. Lawmakers, advocacy groups, and grassroots campaigns pushed relentlessly for a number that would actually make a difference in the lives of retirees. After months of hearings, negotiations, and mounting public pressure, Congress passed the long-awaited increase. Now, beginning Monday, millions will see their bank balances reflect this monumental shift. The payment schedule is already set, and the Social Security Administration has confirmed that the rollout will begin with those whose birthdays fall between the 1st and the 10th of the month. This group will be the very first to receive the new $2,400 payment, followed by those in the second and third distribution cycles over the next 2 weeks. The phased approach is meant to ensure smooth processing and to prevent delays caused by high transaction volumes. For many, the question is not whether the money is coming, but how quickly it will arrive. The impact of this increase goes far beyond just numbers on a page. For seniors struggling to cover medication costs, the extra funds could mean finally being able to purchase all their prescribed drugs without having to skip doses. For others, it may mean being able to afford fresh, healthy food without cutting corners. Housing, utilities, transportation, every one of these daily expenses becomes more manageable with the boost. Seniors who have been relying on credit cards to fill the gap between benefits and bills may finally see a path to paying down their debt. Behind the scenes, the fight for this raise was not an easy one. Political opposition was fierce, with some lawmakers arguing that the increase would strain federal budgets. Others countered that without the adjustment, millions of seniors would be left in financial jeopardy, forced to choose between basic needs. Economists who studied the measure noted that the added income could also stimulate local economies, as retirees tend to spend their benefits directly in their communities. Grocery stores, pharmacies, and small businesses across the country stand to benefit from the extra purchasing power in seniors' hands. The Social Security Administration has emphasized that this increase is permanent, not a temporary stimulus or a one-time payment. This is a new baseline, meaning that future cost of living adjustments will be calculated on top of the $2,400 amount. For retirees just entering the system, this means a stronger foundation from the very first payment they receive. And for those already retired, it means a significant and lasting change to their monthly income. Reactions from seniors themselves have been emotional. Many have expressed gratitude, relief, and even disbelief that the increase finally happened. For some, the announcement was met with tears. Tears for the years spent struggling, tears for the knowledge that their remaining years may be a little less stressful. Community centers and senior advocacy organizations have been inundated with phone calls, not just from people asking about eligibility, but from those wanting to share their personal stories of what this change means for them. One of the most remarkable elements of this new benefit structure is how it addresses long-standing inequalities in the system. Seniors living in high-cost states, who previously found themselves stretched thinner than others, will see the same $2,400 benefit as their peers elsewhere. While the cost of living still varies widely across the United States, this substantial jump helps level the playing field in a way that smaller percentage-based increases never could. Healthcare providers are also weighing in, predicting that the increase could lead to better health outcomes. When people can afford their medications, schedule necessary appointments, and purchase nutritious food, their overall well-being improves. Hospitals may see fewer emergency visits related to untreated conditions, and doctors hope this means more seniors can proactively manage their health rather than waiting until a crisis hits. Financial advisors are already offering guidance to seniors on how best to manage this increased income. Many recommend setting aside a portion for emergency savings, particularly for those who have been living month to month without any financial cushion. Others encourage using part of the boost to pay off high-interest debt, freeing up even more money in the long run. And some advisors suggest that seniors consider modest investments that could generate supplemental income without excessive risk. The political implications of this change cannot be ignored. Lawmakers who supported the increase are already using the passage of the bill as a major talking point, especially with elections on the horizon. They are framing the increase as proof that government can still work for the people when enough pressure is applied. On the other side of the aisle, critics argue that the measure was rushed and warn of long-term fiscal impacts. But for the millions of seniors now seeing the direct benefits, political debates feel distant compared to the reality of a fuller bank account. While the initial focus is on Monday's rollout, this change marks the beginning of a broader conversation about the future of Social Security. If such a significant increase was possible now, many are asking, what else can be done to strengthen the system for future generations? There are ongoing discussions about raising the income cap for Social Security taxes, which would bring in more revenue to support benefits. Others are exploring ways to modernize the system to better reflect 21st century economic realities. Local communities are preparing for the ripple effects. Senior centers are planning workshops to help beneficiaries understand the change, while nonprofits are gearing up to provide financial literacy training. In some areas, housing authorities are bracing for an uptick in seniors applying for slightly better accommodations now that their income has improved. Even transportation services for the elderly anticipate higher demand as more seniors can afford regular outings and appointments. It is important to note that not all seniors will see the increase immediately. While the rollout begins Monday, some will have to wait for their designated payment date later in the month. The Social Security Administration urges patience, reminding beneficiaries that the schedule has been designed to ensure accuracy and avoid delays. They also stress the importance of ensuring that all personal information on file is up to date to prevent any processing issues. The road to this moment has been long and often discouraging. Decades of incremental increases that barely kept up with inflation left many seniors feeling invisible. But this historic change proves that persistence pays off. Grassroots advocacy, coordinated campaigns, and persistent pressure from both individuals and organizations brought the issue to the forefront of national attention. It is a testament to the power of collective action. What is the additional deduction for seniors in OBBB? OBBB permanently extends the doubled standard deduction from TCJA. It also provides an extra $750 to the standard deduction for single taxpayers and $1,500 for married couples in 2025, and adjusts those amounts for inflation yearly beginning in 2026. Altogether, these changes are projected to cost $1.4 trillion from 2025 to 2034. On top of those increases to the standard deduction, OBBB adds an additional $6,000 deduction per individual for taxpayers 65 or older. This new deduction supplements a pre-existing addition to the standard deduction for seniors of $2,000 for single filers and $1,600 per qualifying individual for married filers. This addition to the standard deduction is not available to tax filers who itemize deductions. To be eligible, the taxpayer and their spouse, if married, must have Social Security numbers. The deduction will phase out at a 6% rate for single taxpayers earning more than $75,000 and married taxpayers earning more than $150,000. A single taxpayer, age 65 plus earning $85,000, for example, will be eligible for an additional deduction of $5,400. The deduction will phase out entirely for single taxpayers with income above $175,000 and married taxpayers with income above $250,000.
The additional $6,000 tax deduction for seniors will not benefit households with taxable income below the enhanced standard deduction. Because Social Security benefits, a major source of income for older Americans, are not counted in taxable income, see below, for approximately half of beneficiaries, and only partially counted in taxable income for the other half. The increased standard deduction in OBBB means that many older Americans with low income will not receive any benefit from the additional deduction. The additional deduction also raises concerns about intergenerational fairness, since it provides a tax benefit to those over the age of 65 that is not available to younger taxpayers with identical incomes. By reducing taxes on earned income, the additional deduction for seniors provides a marginal incentive for some older Americans to work, or to work more. Unlike provisions such as the elimination of income taxes on tips, this change will not generally create an incentive for taxpayers to engage in some kinds of behaviors over others. Regardless of the tax advantages, no one can choose their age. What about taxes on Social Security benefits? President Trump made waves during the 2024 presidential campaign by supporting eliminating income taxes on Social Security benefits, which Republican and Republican lawmakers alike have promoted in recent years. Bills such as OBBB that lawmakers pass via the budget reconciliation process, however, cannot have provisions that relate to Social Security, complicating efforts to end taxes on Social Security benefits in this legislation. In addition, eliminating taxes on Social Security benefits would be much more expensive than the additional deduction for seniors in OBBB, costing a projected $1.4 trillion over 10 years. Even the cost of eliminating taxes on benefits only for 2025-2028, mirroring the timeline of the OBBB deduction, would be multiple times higher than the $93 billion cost of that provision. As Monday approaches, anticipation grows. For millions of seniors, it will not just be another start to the week. It will be the day their financial reality shifts in a meaningful way. Some will celebrate with a special meal, others will quietly pay overdue bills, and still others will simply breathe knowing they have more security than before. The $2,400 payment is more than just money. It is a promise kept, a recognition of years of work, and a reminder that change is possible. The story of this Social Security increase is one of resilience, advocacy, and long